Welcome back to Star News. I'm Charles Rourke reporting. We got an update to a story that we brought to you New Year's Eve, and it deals with a stabbing. We do need to reveal that Jonathon Herring is an employee of Star News. He's one of our chief photographers here in Martinsville. Jonathon, we understand that Roy Lee Howard Hall was found guilty of unlawful wounding, which is a plea down from his original charge of malicious wounding.
That's right. That happened today at the courthouse, right around 3:30 today.
Right. Now, if you can, because I know before this case goes to court, you didn't want to do a lot of commenting on it. What happened on New Year's Eve?
Well, there was a party at my residence, and a lot of people showed up. Mr. Hall and some of his friends showed up, and they got into an argument with a couple of the other people there. Just a lot of arguing going on.
We've seen some video that was taken just moments after this occurred there on location. And obviously, the first question I ask you is that a stabbing's going on. Obviously, this is not a festival party. I mean, some things got out of hand, right?
Right. He had been drinking, and during the course of the night, he became really upset. He actually fell onto the ground and hit his head, and he was so intoxicated he couldn't remember that he fell on the ground. He thought somebody hit him, and he got really mad. Eventually, he pulled out a knife. At one point, he had it up against somebody's throat, and there towards the very end, he came up behind me and grabbed me with one arm and stuck the knife into me with his other arm.
Now, from your point of view, you were trying to protect the room from this man? Is that your side of it?
I was just trying to de-escalate the situation, basically. Just tell him to calm down.
What do you remember about the night?
Well, his friends came over and started getting into an argument with one of the other people that was there that night. And we were trying to calm that down, and in the middle of it, that's when Roy Hall started getting upset. And I remember there was a point where he grabbed somebody and threw him up against the wall. He was slamming him up against the wall, and I jumped on his back and pulled him off that guy. Just trying to calm him down, just trying to stop a fight from happening. And at that point, his friend, I grabbed him, pulled him down off the other guy. We both fell down on the ground, and Roy's friend came up and hit me in the face, trying to get me to let go of him, which I did. And Mr. Hall got up, and then he hit me in the face a couple times. And I think at that point somebody said that the police had been called, so everything kind of calmed down at that point. People scattered, went outside, just different places. I went upstairs and with a couple other friends, and New Year's passed. It was about 10 minutes after New Year's when we heard some yelling from downstairs outside, and we went down, Sean and I, and Mr. Hall had the knife out, and he was just waving it around, yelling, saying, "Somebody stole my vest and my cigarettes." I don't know what. He had lost something and thought we were keeping it from him. I remember him saying, he said, "I'm going to stab all of y'all. Won't none of y'all see New Year's." That struck me because it was about 12:30 at that point.
Right. Now, you were scheduled for court today.
Yeah.
What happened?
We went in there today. It was the last case that the judge saw today. Probably being the most violent of the day. Initially he was charged with malicious wounding, and I guess today they pled guilty to unlawful wounding. I think he got a year and 6 months in prison. He's already served 6 months, so I'm not sure how that works. Maybe that's time served, but I'm sure he'll spend at least a year.
Well,
now.
One of the things we cover, a lot of people they think this plea dealing going on in court's a little controversial, pleading down. You, as the victim, did you feel that was fair?
I thought it was fair. I did. The prosecutor felt like it was a reasonable outcome. and I agreed with that.
Okay, he could be in jail for 6 months to a year.
At least a year.
Yeah,
at least a year.
He could be in a year. He's going to be loose. And don't you fear that he could come at you again?
Well, I hope not. I don't really think I've given him a reason to, but I guess they are going to let me know when he gets out.
Right.
I don't see why he would. Didn't see why he had something against me that night. Mm-hmm. So you never know, but I would hope that he would move on.
Okay. Obviously, there was a lot of cost for. I understand they had to air jet you to, or had a helicopter send you to Roanoke. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of health bills and medical bills and things of that nature. How does that work with that?
I'm getting help with the victim assistance program, and he was found. He is responsible for the bills that occurred.
Do you know how much the bills are right now?
I'm not sure of an exact figure. I know the Martinsville Hospital bill is over $3,000. The helicopter bill to Roanoke is over $3,000, and I haven't got the Roanoke bill, but I spent the night there, so I imagine that's pretty large too.
Right, but still, this is one of the things you were telling me during this process, is that still ultimately your name's on the bill.
Right.
So you're responsible.
Well, as of today, he's responsible, I believe.
Okay.
He's been judged to have to be responsible for those bills. Mm-hmm.
All right.
After today, from what I understand.
Do you feel like the system treated you fairly and got justice?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm definitely grateful to the law enforcement officers who came and secured the scene and made sure everything went all right. I think I'm not familiar with court processes, but it seems like it went just fine to me.
When New Year's Eve comes this year, where will you be spending your time?
I think I'm going to settle down with a good book by myself.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for giving us your time. Mm-hmm. It wasn't too bad, was it?
No, not at all.
I think it's always good obviously Jonathon works with us here at the station, and I do want to thank him for coming on. You obviously report on people all the time, and I think that's what's always important for us, to report on stories that are connected to people that work here.
Right. I personally put the camera on people who have problems going on in their lives, so it's only fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming with us for a few moments today and letting us hear your side of the story. And you think justice was served today?
I think it was.
And the news is Roy Lee Howard Hall found guilty of unlawful wounding, not malicious wounding. What is the difference in the time spent? I mean, is that?
I'm not really.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either.
I know the malicious wounding is more serious, with more potential jail time. That's about all I know.
All right. Jonathon Herring, still living to tell his story. And,
I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky. It's been commented that, I'm lucky that it wasn't worse.
Yeah.
So I healed up fine, and I'm glad to still be around.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us for a brief interview here on Star News. We've got more news coming around the corner. Stay with us.